All right, guys, welcome to another episode in the Mission Hustle channel. Today we are talking about how to make online income through selling online courses. This is obviously something that's becoming more and more popular, and people unfortunately try to make this a little bit too complicated. But as always on this channel, I try to show you the simplest kind of workflow of how to go from start to finish and eventually make some income doing things you like without obviously being a scam artist. So today we are talking about how to make online courses. Now this is going to essentially be one of the first videos in a longer playlist on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so already, where we're going to go ahead and give you some overview in this video specifically how to do the creation and making the money through an online course. And other videos are going to come in this playlist. We're going to talk about kind of how to decide what your course should be about, how to sell it, how to find your audience, and things of that sort. And this has actually been where I've made 75% of my income last year on one of my businesses. So definitely something that can bring a good amount of money in, and you can definitely still help a lot of people in the process. So let's kind of get through how we go from creating a course. So it's going to be a course and eventually getting that sale, what that process is like. So step number one is you have to find something that you yourself are an expert on or enjoy talking about. Now, expert scares some people. You think that you have to be the best of the best, but quite honestly, this can be something you know absolutely nothing about, but maybe you have an interest. And if you have an interest, that means that you can do the research. And research can simply mean reading books, watching videos of other people teach the topic, reading articles on Google. And essentially, over time, if you spend days to weeks learning about a topic and mastering your craft and answering some of the questions that you may have, to where you become more and more knowledgeable, you're eventually going to become the expert in the eyes of somebody who knows absolutely nothing. So if you're trying to learn how to code and you are trying to create a course on Dummy's Guide to Coding, you can spend a day or two learning some of the main questions that you would have, create a list of those, and then spend the next day or a few weeks mastering those topics. And then you can create, a course for Dummies, guide to coding. Essentially kind of showing your journey of how you learn how to code and then using that skill to teach other people. So that's a very typical approach. So you don't have to be an expert, but you do need to become somewhat of an expert in the eyes of somebody who may not know anything. So ask yourself, what would that be? What is that? If you're already good at something like cooking, if you run a successful business, maybe, you are really good at a specific sport. Those are all skills that somebody may want to pay their hard-earned money to learn and obviously get to the point you are, and if not higher. So identify kind of what that would be for you. And then number two is essentially going to say, well, do people actually care? Will my audience care? Can I sell this? Because you can be an expert at some ridiculous skill that no one really wants, and you don't want to go to the downward process of creating the product, creating the course, and having no audience. That's essentially not how we want to do this. So we want to go through this strategically. So once you find out that you're an expert in something, you want to see if your audience cares. And so you have to go either where you already have an audience, maybe you have a YouTube channel, or maybe you have a Facebook group that you're part of, or maybe you have some peers in the actual physical world that you talk to, that you want to see if they actually care about your skill. So find out what you're an expert in and ask yourself, would your audience care? And the way to do this is go to, where your audience may be. This may be Facebook. This may be Instagram. This may be YouTube. This may be forums. Like I mentioned, this may actually be physical meetups or meetings, conferences. This can be done through surveys of people on your email list. You essentially want to figure out if your audience cares. Like I'll give you a recent example. For one of my websites that I have, I wanted to see if they would be preferable to a course I was thinking about creating. So I went ahead and put, the idea that I wanted to create with like two dummy ideas that I really didn't care for. And I tried to see if people would overwhelmingly vote for the thing and the idea that I wanted to promote. And I found out that it was kind of a 50-50 split between the product that I was considering and other ideas that are also on the list. So I went forward and didn't actually make the product because there wasn't enough interest. So those are things you have to figure out, but then you need to survey them. Whenever you find your audience, you need to survey and saying, would you buy this? And we're going to talk about this in another video in the playlist. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But essentially you want to see, does the person actually care for the product? And the way you make them care for the product is you make them care about the end result. No one really cares about your 50 video, 5-hour video course. People actually just care about the end result. Are they going to become more fit? Are they going to become wealthier? Are they going to become better at a skill like cooking, a sport, business, whatever that may be? Is their skill set going to go up, or is their concern going to go down? Those are results that you need to sell them. And you want to say, well, if I can show you how to do X, Y, and Z to be able to get whatever your result is, would you buy it? If they do buy it, I recommend that you do something that we call pre-selling, which is essentially giving your initial members, potential course buyers, saying, I will give this to you at a discount. So if your original course is going to be, let's say, $199, and we'll talk about pricing in another module, then I would go ahead and say, I will sell this to you for, $49 or $99, depending on whoever you are and what your industry is, if you consider joining today. And if you get enough of people interested, this may be your threshold to build a course. And if enough people will say, yes, I'm interested, then you would, in this part, you would go ahead and say, let's build a course. And anything down here, you would say move on. Or you can change your offer and kind of recycle this process and seeing if you can potentially create a different product or a different approach to see if people would then buy it. Because all of this is hard work for sure, but we haven't spent hours creating the course that we would want. But once you can get down this aisle, the number 3 is to create the course. And again, we'll make a totally different video on how to do this, but part of the process is going to be outline your course, your lesson, decide if it's going to be video format, if it's going to be text, if it's going to be like live workshops. There's so many options you can do. And then go ahead and kind of create a schedule and produce. So this may be, module 1, module 2, module 3, and then these can have 3 different lessons in each of them. And for me, my schedule may say I'm going to do this by week 1. I'm going to do this by week 2. And then week 3, I'm going to have this out and it's going to be published to my audience. So you got to create your course, you got to have a schedule. And then number 4, you got to both promote and you got to sell it. Now the beauty is, and I'll show you a pro tip of what I do, is I'll get people that have bought it for cheaper, and as I'm creating the course, going through this process, I'm asking for reviews and testimonials. What did you think about the module? What did you think about the course? What did you think about the result? And essentially you're getting testimonials throughout the process as you're creating the course and giving it to your first couple of audiences. You're also able to just kind of fine-tune what your course will look like. But then now you have a course that not only has initial students, you already have buyers, but you also have plus sign, you also have testimonials. And people already want it before it was created, so the likelihood that you'll succeed is just going to be so much higher. Okay. So this is how you go through the process of creating an online course and actually making money through it. And then number 5 is essentially going to be fine-tune. That's going to be, you want to simplify this process as well. But when we're getting to the end point of making money and ending that sale, you obviously want to get people to your sales page and buy the course. So that means you have to improve the conversion here. And then you got to get traffic to your sales page. And so you have to ask yourself, what's the best way to do this? This can be through ads if you have money. This can be through a webinar. This can be promoting it on free resources like YouTube and Instagram and creating content. That's all going to go towards your sales page. And then increasing the conversion on your sales page to eventually get that. Now, there's so many more advanced things that you can do, like adding emails and getting reviews after people buy it. So that way we can then improve our conversions even more. You can do like selling the person who just bought your course something else that they may also want to increase your revenue. Now, this is all advanced elements that you will learn when you open a business. But the most important thing you need to know is if to make money, will people buy it? And if they do, then you move forward in creating the course, creating the sales funnel, and then getting the traffic. But if you do all of this before you answer this question, you are likely going to fail. So this is a very big overview on how to make money online through online courses. Now stick to the remaining videos in the playlist as we create them and add them. So if you are not part of the community, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what other questions you guys may have regarding online courses or anything else you want me to talk about on this YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you still haven't hit that like button, please help the channel grow and join the community. But I will see you guys in the next one. Hustle on. Until then.